Hello and welcome to another update video about the DXY. The DXY has seen quite a decline this week, which is eventually what we would like to see because for anybody who's new on this channel, what we're watching for is a decline that could start soon in a C wave that might take us down to around about 90, 95 USD, and maybe it will even carry on from there. So it could just be this ABC structure down, could just be a larger A wave. Let me just go to the 4-day chart, maybe see it here. So yeah, the idea is that either after the September top last year, we came down in A wave, moved up in a B, and we're coming down in C to form a fourth wave, which could then move higher in a fifth wave, or the decline, which would be in 3 waves, A, B, C, is only going to be a larger A wave, which is then going to be a B wave, which is then going to be a C wave later. So that could just form a larger ABC structure. So that means we could be sort of in this range for a long time, okay? Especially if a B wave plays out. But even that fifth wave is going to be sloppy. So, I mean, long-term bullish, yes, but it could take a while. I mean, this is just going to be painful, this sideways range, okay? But what we're watching for right now is, in both scenarios, a decline. And this decline should unfold ideally as an impulse, okay, maybe as a diagonal, but at the moment it's starting to look good. What didn't look so good, or which didn't really add probability to that the decline has already started, was over the course of the last couple of weeks this strong rally into resistance, but our resistance area was never broken, which is very important. Now, if we zoom out a little bit and take a look at the movement that started in September last year, this was a 5-wave move to the downside, which I count as an A wave. This move is a very clear flat structure, A, B, C, a so-called sideways correction. You see why, because it's just been moving sideways basically. Yeah, with a little bit of up and down, but it's technically a sideways correction. So over you know, within 2023, you could say the price hasn't or the DXY hasn't significantly moved. Okay, so we've got A wave, 3 waves down, and a B, and then this rally in a C wave. And the question is now, is this finally over? Already like a couple of weeks ago, we said we might start our decline right now. We are in resistance. It has done what it needs to do. The ABC structure was really full, and also the C wave within that larger B wave here was pretty full. Now, what I cannot rule out until we break below that support, which is here at $104.60 basically, I cannot rule out that we're going to get an extension higher, which became quite probable when we touched here the 78.6 retracement. But as I explained to you, as long as we don't have a sustained break above the $107 level, which is the 78.6 FIB level, we focus on lower. We continue to focus on lower, even though we have to allow it to extend once more if it needs to, then probably targeting around about $107.60, possibly even 109. This is, however, now starting to look like quite an impulsive decline. So far, only 3 waves down, however, off the high, and therefore we still have to consider a potential turnaround, and we still have to consider a potential extension higher. But what I'm watching next week, I'm going to watch next week, is this support at $104.68, and below that level, the $103 level. So essentially, if this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, we should now be coming down in this third wave here. Yeah. So the wave 2 was a very complex corrective WXY most likely. The wave 3 would unfold now, should break below support in an ideal world. Then we should see a 4, 5, and that would complete a larger degree wave 1. And any corrective rally from here. So if we see any rally and it's going to be corrective, so very sloppy, overlapping price action, doesn't make a new high, will add probability-wise to the thesis that we have already topped. I'm still leaning to the idea we have topped, but still keep the door open for higher. We'll stop doing that as soon as we have 5 waves down, 3 waves up. That circle wave 2 would also be interesting in terms of, you know, finally confirming this, because we obviously any any support that breaks will add probability-wise to the thesis that we have topped already. Again, I'm leaning towards it. I've been leaning towards it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's about time. We've had a reaction to that resistance area, not only the small one, but also the large one. And all we need to do now is to break below support, $104.60 and then 103. I mean, that's the key level, that $103 level. Then if that is in 5 waves and we see a corrective rally, after that, the fun can start really probably next year, because this will be a 3rd wave decline. So it's going to be quite aggressive, most likely. So we need to understand that the move down can be an impulse. Ideally, it is going to unfold as an impulse. That's not entirely clear yet. Impulse means it's really fast, especially the 3rd wave will be fast. And we get this done quickly. If it's going to be a diagonal structure, then it's going to be very choppy. It's a C wave can be a diagonal. So also obviously what could be is that this move down is not an A wave, but instead it's a wave 1. This here is not a B wave, but it's a wave 2. The move down is not a C wave, but a wave 3, and then so on. It would be even more bearish. But then if it's a diagonal, we can rule that out because a 3rd wave cannot be a diagonal. But I'm leaning to the idea this is just an ABC structure. And so far it's going according to plan. Even if we push a little higher, that's still within the parameters of that larger B wave that you can see on the chart there, which possibly topped here in end of September. That was early October. So that could still extend higher, no problem. But I would prefer if we, especially with that move down, if that finally is the move down we need and we wanted to see, yeah. And then obviously targeting sort of $90, $95, yeah, in the coming months, but probably next year it will be okay. So I would assume we spend quite a bit of time in this 1-2 setup, especially this wave 2 correction will take a bit of time before we then really come down in this 3rd wave. Yeah, that's my update about the DXY. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500 and regular updates about stocks, check out our S&P 500 and stock service. You can find the link in the description. We also cover the NASDAQ at the moment. It's not officially included, but we do it because of the market conditions. NASDAQ is covered on a daily basis, and the S&P 500 there are even some intraday updates. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.